Merck's the worst run pharma company ever. Ever. The last 25 years of Merck have been a disaster. Ken got lucky KEYTRUDA bailed them out, and now they're in the same situation they were 10 years ago. Sava's new CEO. Help. Can't change the way the drug works. Sava's go to zero, man. All right, let me look at like one more biotech. There's a lot of space companies, man, I never heard of. A lot private, more going public. This is a restaurant company with the same ticker. 𝗂𝗏 Group. 𝗂𝗏, cassava. 𝗂𝗏's worth a lot more than cassava. Palantir up like crazy. Yeah, HIMSS looked interesting. And the Novo Nordisk dude, who is the Teva CEO, is on their board, which is really interesting. That's a good one to look at, yep. Vaxcyte. Yeah, you know, I'm a little bit lucky, like getting to cassava a little bit late. I mean, I remember the drama from the beginning, but I just have a, like I said, I know Remy. I've known Remy forever. Remy knew me when I was 22. You don't like me now, you would have hated me then. Whew. I was arrogant. I didn't know what I was doing. Now I'm old enough to know. Albertsons and Kroger. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to fire Lena Khan, which they should have done. Should never put her in the first place. That's neither here nor there. But I guess it is very relevant for mergers in America. But the price gouging of grocers is a meme that's been advanced. And you go to a local Brooklyn fruit store and you ask them about price gouging, they go like this. Okay, hurry up and order. As one of the two Brooklyn fruit stores. The other guy goes, okay, hey papi. I mean, it's just silly to think that these guys are like price gouging on eggs or something. Colluding to price gouge. They would be, they would have more net income, I would think. Oh, Vaxcyte, okay. Yeah, I remember like the whole Sutro thing. So they were like a division of Sutro, basically. You know, it's funny, something I noticed like 10 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago, 15 years ago, was that every vaccine company got bought out. Every vaccine biotech startup. ID Biomedical, if you're old enough to remember them. Who was the other one? The one with the adjuvant that GSK bought. Sort of the C. 𝗥𝗖𝗢𝗢𝗀. What else? So many more. There was like a Canadian one too. What was that one that got bought out? Of course, Crucell was another one. No, we're getting commodities soon. All the vaccine startups got bought out. Oh, Novavax was one that I guess didn't. So the point is, like, vaccines have always been like ignored by the biotech and entrepreneur community, but they're actually quite good. Crucell was a really interesting one a long time ago. J&J bought it, and they're not doing anything with it. It's really funny. J&J fumbled that bag pretty bad. Oh, they're not even in phase 3 yet. Jesus Christ. Man, that's a hell of a valuation. And they want to do separate adult versus pediatric. Chlamydia. Don't need no vaccine for chlamydia. Treatment is optional. All right, so they're saying VAX-31 would be the broadest spectrum. Pfizer has to have a life cycle management system, right? I'm assuming these are 31 antigens. Phase 3 pivotal non-inferiority study by mid-25. That'll take 2 years. VAX-24 is 24-valent. Frauds aren't too common in biopharma, but investors will often get ahead of themselves. And I think management will play into it, but they won't like straight up lie. Summit will do an offering. Vaxcyte has a ton of cash. So one way to look at it is you look at Prevnar, right? So let's look at Prevnar. Let's see what Pfizer and Merck are both cooking up Prevnar. So, oh yeah, Prevnar's on Prevnar 13. So they're going to need to do something if Vaxcyte's doing Prevnar 31, basically. All right, so Prevnar did 6.5 last year. I can just do annual modeling. here. Let's see. So one way to do this is look at what Pfizer and Merck are up to. But a 24-valent and a 31-valent sound pretty promising, but they actually have to deliver. Let's try clinical trials. My friend's 𝗕connect thing is actually a little bit better. Let's see. Okay, so this is Prevnar 20. It looks like this is early Prevnar 20. And this started in 2024. So arguably they're not that far behind. Oh wait, this is 20 VPNC, is that? Wait, there is a Prevnar 20. Oh, okay, Prevnar 20 is approved. Vaxcyte. Okay, so if I don't think, oh, that's Merck, and Merck's not selling well, right? Something's wrong with the Merck vaccine. So Prevnar 20, I really have to understand this market better. Prevnar 20 looks like it's for babies only. Here's an older one, older patients. Okay, so one thing we could do is we can go to patent office and see if Pfizer's been up to anything there. So there's patents and there's applications, and those are two slightly different things. Sometimes applications you can look at faster than the patents, but the new search you see both at once. And I also kind of want to look at the Google patents is kind of pretty good these days. So let me see if I can find. Oh, you know what? Let me just try this. Pneumococcal vaccine. I need the advanced search. This is better than USPTO. Looks like this just claims the Prevnar 20. Now, you still need the right adjuvant and some other things. It's not just enough to put the antigens in. So I'm curious what kind of vaccine it is. They had some crazy manufacturing method, if I recall correctly, which is quite important. Let me actually just open this thing. Oh, this is Australia, so I can keep looking. But I had the advanced search up. Okay, I do. Good. There's meningitis, E. coli. Okay, here's the world patent. Okay, well, here's how many serotypes this patent claims. Let's take a look. Can we count these, chat? This is Pfizer's. We're trying to figure out if, for anybody just tuning in, we're trying to figure out if Vaxcyte has the goods. This is, oh, let me put the stock ticker up on the screen. This is a stock a lot of people like. So let's count these, chat. 1, 2, 4, 5, right? 6A, 6B, 6C, 7C, 7F, 8. Wish I could do a comma-separated function. And 9V, 9N, 10A, 10B, 11A, 12F, 14, 15A, 15B, 15C, 16F, 17F. I don't know if this is what's in this vaccine or just all the serotypes, period, but because we're already at 31. And I doubt they're putting every known serotype in there, right? It says, preferably the capsular saccharide used is a saccharide derived from this, selected from the group consisting of these serotypes. So I don't think it's all of these. That would be weird. This is probably just everything that, well, maybe it's not weird. Maybe it is. 45. So maybe they're doing Prevnar 45. 𝗠𝗏 is interesting. I kind of like it. It's really tricky. I don't know that I want to play that poker game. Had to bet, I guess I'd probably be long. So this might just claim the conjugate, and the vaccine is like a claim of the conjugate, the adjuvant, the delivery, the dose, everything. This is claiming the conjugate chemistry. Then there's the diphtheria penetration agent, 𝗏197. If you don't know the 𝗏197 story, it's very interesting. 𝗏197 made Pfizer, and I guess what, was it Wyeth? Yeah, Wyeth had Prevnar, right? Yeah. American-owned products, way back when. Made these companies many tens of billions. One little invention. Carrier protein. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Buried on page 89. See, a lot of you guys out there have ADHD. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, you. I see you. A lot of you guys out there. You got to be patient. You got to read every page. At least glance at it. In an embodiment, the invention, I do want to look at Neurocrine. I do like it. In an embodiment, the invention relates to an immunogenic composition comprising a glycoconjugate of the invention and comprising 1 to 25 different glycoconjugates. Same thing, but 26 to 35. Okay, in one embodiment, the invention relates to an immunogenic composition comprising the glycoconjugates from these serotypes. Now, chat, we have to count this too. Do we have a little tool to help us? We got a tool, chat? We don't have a tool. We're going to have to do it live. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, well, this is easy. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Oh, okay, this is different amounts. Okay, so this claims, these aren't the serotype amounts. Claims, well, it's not the IP. This is trying to figure out what is Pfizer up to. Pfizer did Prevnar 7, 13, and 20. So 7 to 25 serotypes. They're not claiming anything like 24. Well, no, there's 24 here. They're not claiming 31. Okay, here they're claiming up to a 35, but they obviously have to put this stuff in the clinic too. This is like a very vague pattern, a very vague patent. One, 3, 4, 5, 6B, 7F, 9V. Usually you can do the research to know which one is the most important. And they change over time because they're living. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's... Here's another one with 2 more added. That's 13. 33F and 22F. If anybody wants to do some research in parallel and tell me which one is the current thing, the important one, let me know. All right, this one adds 2, to make 14, 15, it adds 6A, to make 15, 7F, it adds 8, to make 16, 9V, it adds 10A and 11A, to make 18, it adds 12F to make 19, and then adds 15B to make 20, 19A to make 21. So, I mean, I'm assuming Pfizer has prototypes of all these things, and they're not going to let this company just... Yes, this is a 21. There's a 22 configuration here. But if they don't put any of these in the clinic, does it make a difference? And may they be in clinicaltrials.gov that we can't see necessarily? Here's they add 9N to 22.
23, 24. There are a lot of different combinations here. So what I'd really like to see is a patent claiming the a finished product. But that's interesting, nevertheless. These are very vague patents. Maybe Pfizer's talked about the life cycle management in the past. I bet you they have. Let's see about that. Let's try that. Pfizer pneumococcal vaccine pipeline. I can't wait till LLMs work in a way that I could just ask. Look at the internet. Tell me what you see. Oh, I got something called PG4. They're testing PG4 against 20-valent, which is such a weird name. Here's another company doing a 23. If I were them, I wouldn't tell the competition how many antigens there are either. But that is fascinating. So, PG4 vaccine. Let me try that. That is definitely brand new. And there's almost no information about it. The plot thickens. And I bet you if I studied each patent here, I'd figure out which one is it. There's a number of patents in here. Maybe if I cut it just to US, it's a really amazing vaccine. It's probably the best vaccine. Maybe next to actually the Merck vaccine for cervical cancer. It's maybe the only other one I'd put up there. Okay, so I guess one way to look at Vaxcyte is we just say, regardless of what's going to happen in the long run and in the short run, they'll get approved, the thing works, which is not certain, by the way, and they're going to get some share of this market. I'm going to start with nothing right now because the trials will take a little time to run, but at some point, they'll split the market with Pfizer, Merck, and maybe others. So their revenue will be as follows. And the nice thing about vaccines is they're a little lower margin because the price is pretty low per shot, but the marketing is pretty low as well. You know, you just ultimately, you get on this like list of recommended vaccines. There's definitely a risk of no approval, maybe 20%, 30% risk. There's also a risk it's not commercially viable. So those are real risks. And if you collected all the fat tails in biotech, you'd make a lot of money. And you could kind of do that a little bit. I think this is cell-free or something. I did want to look at the manufacturing system. This is kind of what's at stake, is $1 billion in cash flow a year in like 2030. Now, there's upside scenarios possible, obviously. Yeah, I mean, at first blush, it certainly doesn't jump out. So the bull case is not 100% clear right away. If Pfizer completely falls asleep, right, and you're 100% sure the technology works, so it's around 6 billion, maybe fair value, the way I look at it. But let's say Pfizer's, you know, unbelievably asleep at the wheel. They decide they don't like their monopoly in their most important drug, and they say, you know what, we hate capitalism, and there's no doubt the drug works, and this and that. Yeah, you could definitely get upside. Summit seemed like it was okay. A lot of questions on Summit, not really clear, and we're not going to get answers necessarily for a while on Summit. The control group did particularly poorly. It's a big market cap. It's targeting, you know, one of the biggest markets in biotech, but 11 billion's pricey. I'm not sure maybe if you're J&J, you'd want to play in this space if you're really dedicated to building a vaccines business, but